King of Discs, upright. The King of Discs in a reading is indicative of the surrendered action which is required to accomplish any task. This might be action that is already in progress or action you must begin. Nevertheless, it is industry that does not require much thought or feeling, but only the long hours of repetitive motion required to bring life to manifestation. The King of Discs is the industrious laborer in the field. He is not occupied by thoughts or feelings, but is focused solely on his physical action and the spiritual will that drives him. He knows his mission and acts tirelessly, surrendering to the moment until his energy is spent. He represents the phenomenon of mountains, earthquakes, gravity, and the generative properties of the earth. Upright, determined, reversed, dull. Tree of life, Chokmah in Asaya, astral signature, 2/3 Virgo, 1/3 Leo, the fiery aspect of earth. Key words: patient, labor, farmer, heavy, hard work, keeping focus, abundance, discipline. Expanded description. The King of Discs represents the physical world, abundance, labor, wealth, and focus. Elementally, he represents the fiery aspect of the earth, but instead of seeing this as the earth on fire, instead think of it as the slow smoldering of fire, or the long and slow growth of plants in a harvest in the making. The King of Discs is much more focused on the physical material aspects of reality, fueled by his spiritual resolve and nothing else. He is a provider, a guide, and a hard worker who has accumulated stability through determined and focused work. He bears no relationship with the watery or airy elements, and so is not distracted by any emotional or mental thoughts that come through him. His only focus is to physically make happen what spark of inspiration is moving through him over the course of hours, days, and even weeks of hard work. The discs can often represent financial matters and wealth, or other forms of physical resources. It can relate to business matters, investments, or matters within society. And so the King of Discs here represents the hard work required to be successful in our respective fields or in the projects we have set out upon. The King of Discs is very clearly a farmer or laborer of the land, and the energy of this card is focused on getting the task done. Someone who works with the earth is practical, hardworking, and pushes forward to ensure the task is completed fully. When this card is pulled, it tells you that you need to focus on the tasks in your life until they are fully completed. Embodying the energy of this king is to see your projects, passions, or daily activities through until the end, without stopping to be distracted by the what ifs or other emotional distractions which may pop up as you work. The king is methodical and planned out in his approach. What aspects of this can you relate to in your life? What are some actions that you must complete in order to move forward? Stay pragmatic in your ventures. It will be required that you stay very focused on just the task at hand without getting distracted in this time. It also describes to use the resources and instructions available to you at this time. The nature of the King of Discs is using the path that has already been created, rather than trying to reinvent the wheel. If this card is not speaking towards you, it may represent a person in your life who is materially focused or business-oriented, and one who you might gain some insight or inspiration from if you spend some time together. Reversed description. The King of Discs in his reversed position describes his dullness and lack of enthusiasm towards all things, including his deepest passions. If his energy has just become worn out, this character becomes very stagnant or simply dry. Without much emotion or mental capabilities, he is easy to wither and burn from the heat of the sun, especially with nowhere to channel his energy into. Thus, the reversed King of Discs speaks toward extreme dullness and lack of excitement in the personality, and then even a potential to become jealous if he observes others doing things that he wants to do, but has become weighed down by the burden of his self-imposed responsibilities to allow himself that experience. To turn this reversed card upright, we are encouraged to stay very connected with the earth and with our bodies, and make sure that we are nourished physically so that we can keep our spiritual focus. This card naturally speaks towards having a great deal of work to do, and if we can stay strong, focused, and do this work, then we will manifest a great deal of wealth and abundance by the end. However, if we lose sight of what is truly important to us and forget about why we started this project in the first place, then the work ceases to interest us at all, and we fall into the darkness until we find the light again.